So this is an interesting point because this was dropped in the about the Balazs podcast where he says
Yeah.
people will come up against, oh, I finance, I can't afford it.
I
If
listened to it today. It was in the group chat, and I've been listening to it all afternoon. And then I booked a call with him this afternoon, and then he jumped on, and I said, "Is it in alignment with everything, brother? Any questions? You watched the Brotherhood video?" He said, "Yep, watched it." I said, "How's it feel?" He goes, "Yeah, good." I said, "So you're looking for an opportunity?" "Yep." I said, "Does it feel right for you to do this?" And he said, "Yep." And I said, "How are you financially?" He said, "Oh, this, that, that." I said, "Do you want to do finance?" He said, "Yep." I said, "Bang," put him in the group chat. And that's when he come up with the objection. And Blas was talking about that. And he's like, when they say they can't afford it or they got some other thing, because he said he had to build a fence, a renovation. And I was like, no, fuck this. Normally, and I was like, found myself when Blas was going to resonate with it. I was like, I actually find myself cowering on an objection. And I was like, no, fuck this. I said, he goes, bro, my house repayments are 650 a week. I can't afford 300 a month. I said, bro, this is the exact reason why you need to do this. And then it just flipped him, bro. And he's obviously processed finance.
what's the alternative?
Yeah.
Keeps battling for 650 a week.
They've come to us already wanting a solution. They've already recognized that they have a problem. And I like the one where he was just like, oh, most people say, oh, they've got to sort your finances out. And then he goes, a perfect reply is, isn't that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
It was a big one, like out of that podcast when he's talking about how he goes, oh, look, you know, there's two kinds of people that come together. There's the ones that, need to change their paradigm about how they're actually thinking about creating money and all this. Then there's the ones that are ready to go. And which one you got to focus on, which one you want to be focusing on. The ones, because you're going to have to change their paradigm for the ones that have money objections, that have the consumer mindset. The ones that just, they're constantly buying shit. Like when they have you need to have a brand new car or you're actually not good enough. That kind of projection on life. Like, oh, I need a brand new car. I'm just not going to be okay. He's like, why don't you just fucking sell everything and buy a business and then buy it all back later? And I'm like, fuck yeah, house is going on the market this week. No.
Legit though. This is the
We have had that conversation this week, but Jordan, haven't we?
we have what would it mean to have a couple of $100,000 in faster assets in the next 3 to 5 years? That's where we're at, fellas. Like we're so conditioned to comfort and we're so conditioned to risk averse that we actually end up living a life that we fucking hate. Like men are so risk averse. You just go back generations ago, like it was riskier to live every single day. Like hunter-gatherer times. Every day was a risk, but we're so comfortable now that people just want to be in the safety zone and get comfortable. Like getting comfortable is death to a man. You just don't get put in a box till you're 80.
Can I do a little share on that, brother?
Go for it.
So like over the last week, I've been on like the last fortnight, I had really big mental blocks with this. I was like, fuck, I was becoming a skeptic. I was doubting all this stuff. And I started to sort of do a number on myself and go into self-sabotage mode. Really fucking like really negative. And in the past, when I've done that, I've fucked up everything in my life and then I've rebuilt again. And I've come through I got up this morning, I was just like, fucking fire, let's go. I was fucking just straight into it. And I changed my mindset and I was just like, fucking it's happening. It is happening. I'm going all in and I'm shutting everything else off. I've been studying fucking funnels and sales pages all day. And then bang, it just happened like that. But before that, I was like, no, it's not going to work. Oh, and the wind was about to blow me over. Because a man who hasn't got a clearly defined goal has a self-destructive personality, or that's how I see men who don't have really big goals in front of them. They become self-destructive, and it's fucking dangerous.
It's the law of attraction, Mitch.
100%.
Yeah. It happened to me the other day as well. I like went
Yeah.
through a big day of just like positive, writing everything down, doing all this research, and then boom, guy messaged me out of the blue. He's like, "Oh, do you have a countertop filter? Do you know of one?" I was like, "No fucking way." You know what I mean? It's just crazy.
A countertop filter.
Yeah.
That's some real fucking Eastern Australian slang there, brother. I like it. I like the jargon.
It is really an energy thing with this, and we'll all go through it. You'll go through waves of it. Like Bay said, the fella in Japan who was presenting, he was at 6A and had 3 guys at 6A in his network, and he was sabotaging. He was drinking, partying. He got complacent. Those 3 guys quit. They quit because they're like, I'm out of alignment with my upline. Doesn't feel good. He's just partying. He's blowing his cash, all this stuff. And he had a wave. He had a realization that he wasn't going for a bigger target. Because money changes people. Money really does change people. It's an extension of who you are at the core. And if you're not dialed in on a purpose, when heaps of money comes your way, you'll burn it, or you'll find ways to sabotage it because you don't feel worthy of it because it's not being put to purpose. I was saying this to Nick the other day. People will change when they start coming across good wealth. Like when you start making 20 to 50K a month, it tests you. It really tests you on like where your direction is. So I'm fortunate enough to have had a taste of that, and I just wanted to literally give back as much as I could. Like I just want to help my parents more. I just want to help my community more. Like I just go above and beyond when I've got money in hand. And that was really beautiful to experience because I actually questioned myself a little bit when I started making good money, and I was like, oh, I was a little bit scared of it because I've never come from money ever. And I see, Keegan and all these guys around me in the mentorship are like hitting 100K months or 50K months. And I had this like little bit of self-doubt. But when I hit that with Legacy Dads, I went, no, money really is an amplifier. I'm like really focused on what I'm building for my family and the greater good of humanity. And so, like Mitch said, it's so important to have that bigger vision because when you start seeing money come in, it's really important that you have that purpose and it keeps you straight and narrow. Have you guys ever thought about that energy attraction with money? Like a lot of guys, they think about, oh, what would I do if I was making 100K? And like, oh, I could fucking kick back and, like just enjoy life. And it's like, yeah, but if you get complacent, Socrates said it best, like you get too complacent as a man and you'll fizzle, like your worth starts to fizzle. And so if you guys can get super clear on what that purpose is, and do it in your journaling, like attract that energy and be that energy now. When the money comes, it's just an amplifier. You'll just radiate more attention, more attraction. And it is really, it's a beneficial and really rewarding energetic state to be in because you can start being of service at much larger scale. All right. So one thing that I've picked up on is that if you chase sales, they run from you.
Mm-hmm.
So while you feel the urge to push hard for a sale, the harder you resist it and the harder you chase it, the faster it may run from you. And so for tonight's call, I wanted to do a quick assessment with everyone and for you guys on the recording as well, is have a little assessment about what you're turning up as. So what's the energetic state that you're putting out there? Is it, hey, I really hope someone buys this business so I prove it to myself that people can purchase? Or is it, hey, I really hope someone buys a water machine soon because like then I get the commissions? Or is the energetic state, I know that if 100 families put this water in there, I know it's going to protect their kids. It's going to protect themselves, their partners for the next 30, 40 years. I know the impact that this can make if more people have this water. And even on a deeper level of like, what is the image and what is the message that I'm putting across as a man? So I have to take full responsibility of this because Nick made me aware of this today. She's like, babe, you're smoking this business. It's really cool to see you like it's obvious that a lot of men want this. Like you've really hit the nail on the head on with the brotherhood and the water, and you're going to do great things. The community's going to do great things. I can see it and I can feel it. Like she actually had an intuitive lady, like a reader lady, say that like this is going to be a big change for our family and the impact that we have in the world, and that the families that come into the network are really going to be rewarded in and prosperous. So she had like this big reading thing, and she's like, I've felt that this is like something that you do really well, you lead. And she's like, but what I've noticed you do just in the last couple of weeks is all your posts have been about joining the brotherhood. She said, don't get lost trying to get people to join. Don't get lost leading, trying to get people to join the brotherhood and forget that you need to lead in your own life. So she said, people are drawn to your energy because you love eating great food. You train. You're a great father. You look after your health. You're a man of values. You know, you've got an incredible character, personality. You're fun. She's like, don't lose that online because you've got this opportunity for men.
She said that to you
She said that to me this afternoon in the
in
car.
those words.
Yeah.
Fuck, bro, that's amazing. It's a good tune up if I've ever heard one.
Yeah.
You
She
know,
does it to me all the time.
yeah, that's perfect. That's what you need. That's how you progress in a relationship.
Yeah, that's a good woman, man.
Yeah, fucking
That's a strong woman.
Yeah. It's I'm blessed to be always forever humbled. But it's a very honest insight, right? Because it's come from her. She knows who I am. She knows what I'm about. She knows what we're about as a family. And she said she's like, I've been waiting for personality posts. I've been waiting for your lifestyle. I've been waiting for your food. I've been waiting for your training. She's like, you did the handstand one the other day, but you still led it back to the brotherhood. She's like, don't always offer it.
100%.
She's like, lead with who you are, and that will be an attractor state. You don't always have to say, hey, come and join me. Just be the thing. And then men will either ask, what are you doing? Or every now and then you drop, hey, if you want to be a part of what we're up to, shoot me a message. So that was a really great recalibration for me. And I considered it, and Tim Frey has said, only sell on Thursdays.
That's Centrelink Day, ain't it?
He said, just get people hyped at the start of the week, get them motivated, and then on Thursday they're fucking hating the result to repeat it again for another week, and give them an offer on Thursday.
Not a bad idea. I remember being cooked most weekends, and then like Monday, recovery, Tuesday, or even worse, Wednesday, I'm feeling good. Thursday, I'm almost ready to party again. That's not a bad idea. What he's saying there.
Yeah, and so the theory behind that is like, if you're always offering, then people are like, oh, he's just offering again. Where it's like, hey, just turn up and be a leader as a man. Talk about your food, talk about your values, talk about everything that we're doing. But it's not always like, hey, I've got a solution for you. I've got a solution. It's like, oh yeah, okay, he's just pushing the solution.
I think the problem is that's contrary to what a lot of people teach. You know, like a lot of the how to grow the Instagram. You've always got to have a call to action at the end of the post. You've always got to have an offering at the end of the post. But yeah, man, you're 100% right.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that because it's like you feel there's like a scarcity mindset in not putting a call to action there. You're like, oh, what if someone reads this and it would have been like a good post for them to like reach out if I had a call to action on it, but what if the abundance is that your frequency is the attractor state, and then if there's like 7 to 10 exposures to them, like, fuck, I really resonate with like the way Mike's feeding his kids or what he's doing with his handstands or whatever. And then he's like, hey, by the way, I'm part of this epic brotherhood. They're inspiring me to go to whole new levels. It's been the best change I've ever made. And it's just like a rant, like, and they're like, oh shit, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, I think the other thing is if you're constantly, it's like the same thing that we discussed with not always having the recruitment videos every week, because they lose their value if every day all you're doing is offering. It's like, oh well, I don't need to do it now. There'll be another offer tomorrow, or there'll be another offer next week. It kind of loses the potency.
Yeah, great point. Great point.
Also, it goes into your X factor and unique selling point. Like you see so many of the ads out there, and everyone's pushing the same similar content, or they could be pushing the same similar content with the machines and stuff like that. And it's like you're gonna leave a mark of, oh, there's just another person pushing like a Kangen water as an online business, when really the X factor and the unique selling proposition is more about like our values in particular, and that's what's going to get people drawn to you. Not, oh yeah, he's got a Kangen water machine, let's just follow him for that.
And what kind of man we're being, what's the example we're setting, and that's the core of the Legacy Brotherhood. It's not just the water's the vehicle. This is about setting a whole new standard for men. And Nick, it's really interesting because I was thinking about that off-grid lifting guy, and
he's cool.
He's awesome. He's got great content, but recently he's had a lot more offer posts
and stuff. Yeah,
and for some reason I'm like, it's interesting because I'm like, oh man, I was like, if I had just been like a viewer, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And what does he do? Why is he always training? He's just traveling and training. What the fuck? Like, I'm like genuinely curious. Like, I'd be like, almost like, man, I want to message him and be like, what the fuck do you do, bro? But it's called off-grid lifting.
Oh yeah.
He's got a like a lifting rack that attaches to the back of his car, and he just boots around and just sets up and max dips and back squats and stuff. It's like it's epic. It's a solid. Yeah.
Next time we go to BI, I'm taking the half rack and just going to bust chin outs on the beach.
Yeah, that's some bad content we could do. But like, I was thinking about that because like I've been super inspired just watching him train in nature. It's like, what do you want to be known for online? And just turn up and just go to the next level with that. Like whatever it is, like that this becomes like your main message. Like I've honestly been thinking of it just like, for me, it's just like training and things I'm doing with Indy. Like Indy skating, if I'm ever skating with Indigo on the board, I get like ridiculous amounts of engagement on that. And that's something that I love doing. Like, so it's like, if my content is like me teaching my son cool shit and training, because I value my health a lot, and then eating. So if it's just like steaks, skating with Indy or surfing with Indy or whatever, and then training. And then every now and then I'm like, hey, if you want to learn how to like maximize your life and introduce this stuff as well, like join our brotherhood. Because it's a fine line, right? And this is something that I'd love to discuss with Dan open table. Like Dan's a Kangen king, right? He's like home and hosed. It's working for him. It's ridiculous. So he's like, I'm pushing Kangen hard as a motherfucker. But I just don't know for our vision with the brotherhood, whether that's what it's about. Like if he's the Kangen king, we can't all just be the Kangen kings and just like flog in the water. You know, it's like what does the legacy brotherhood mean? It's like, what are your deep core values when you do that attraction marketing and that values document and stuff? What do you land on? Mine's health, wealth, purpose. And what does that look like in my life?
I know, and I'm sure we all know. It's just a matter of time before more and more people resonate with the call to action that we're all doing. And it's why, like, I shared that video today, which I'm sure like you's all shared it as well, and you's probably all got hit with it just as much as me. But it's like the message that you shared in it, Jordan, is so true. You know, like so many men are out there working overtime just to stay ahead of the bills, like not even to like give them any desirable life. It's literally just to keep staying ahead, you know, and more men will resonate with that call to action over time. Like it's just an awakening that needs to happen for so many men, because they are all missing the core values that we've already found. Like I've seen it all the time out of men, out of the mines. Like they're fucking walking zombies, like programmed
What happens
to.
when men surrender their potential?
Yeah,
or
just
money?
they're programmed to that environment out the mines, and then they like 99% of the men bring their programming from the mines back home. And I shared this with a mate. I honestly believe that most men are more present away from their family, because the mining life is actually their home rather than like their family.
Fuck, that's brutal.
That's the truth, bro.
Yeah, but it's the truth, man. Like it's like I come back into town working for like fuck all, and on a Friday afternoon, the supervisor would rather stay back at the job site for like 2 hours and knock back a 6-pack of cans before he goes home. And it's already like 4:30 on a Friday afternoon. He's got 2 twin girls at home. Like, why the fuck is a male choosing to do that? You know, like, and that's the emotional point to tap into. You know,
It's more comfortable for the man to sit there and drink piss at
Yeah.
work than it is to go home and face his family, because he's probably got a lot of internal wars going on.
Mm.
You know, like it's uncomfortable for him to be around his family because he spends so much time away from them, and then when he is around them, it's challenging.
Mm.
Can't turn off, and he feels like edgy. You know, I've felt like that a lot throughout 15 years of being a father.
Mm.
You know, like I'm getting better at it, but I've felt very uneasy at times just even being present with my son.
Mm.
You know, so that's why the guys knocking back a sixer. For
Why
you,
is that,
your
Mitch?
values and priorities are obviously a lot more honed in than a man like that, you know?
I'm trying to put it into words in sharing it, but this last 4 months, it's like my bond with Novi. She's 3, and I was always working away at the mines. And since I've been home for like basically 4 months straight, every night, every morning, it's like she's just starting to like cuddle me at night time and it's like literally say like, "I love you, Dada," and it's like that I can feel that connection with us getting stronger and stronger as more nights spent without breaking that cycle. You know, like 7 on, 7 off. There's always an attachment and then a detachment, attachment and detachment. Whereas now it's just like attachment.
Beautiful share, brother. Thank you.
And that's not just with like the kids. It's even like with your wife and your family and friends. You know, like that's the cycle. That's the cycle that the modern man is doing. Is a constant cycle of detachment. end
We
of
had
the
this
day.
conversation the other night in the circle with some men, and a guy was talking about how he was working away for years doing FIFO, and he come back home, and it was so awkward for him because he just felt so fearful of rejection from his partner to say what he was actually feeling or what he actually truly wanted to say. He had so much fear of rejection. Then one of the other senior men said, "Look, I could actually I did FIFO for most of his life," he was saying, and what I did was I could fabricate my relationship while I was home to make it all fluffy, but then I could fabricate it, make it how I want it, and then leave again. But he goes, it was so far from fucking being normal, or not normal's not the word, but it was so far from being a true relationship because it wasn't even close to it because he could just fabricate it how he wanted it. It was a big, Santa Claus is coming home and then he's leaving again, but there was no depth to it.
Leon, what's your insights on that, brother? You're in
Oh, bro, just everything that Brendan and Mitch just said is spot on. Like I feel all of that. I almost feel like guilty. I don't know why, but what you were just saying about going home and you can make it all fluffy and make it how you like, sort of thing. That's so accurate. It really is, and I don't think like a lot of guys don't mean to do that, but I've definitely been guilty of that for sure. You go home and you do your best because you know you're going to be away again, so you almost put on like an over the top sort of thing to your partner and everybody, give as much as you can, and yeah, and then you just bugger off again. It's two separate lives, really. It is shit.
So it's not
Yeah.
like giving from a place of groundedness.
No, no, not at all. It's like it actually takes, 4 or 5 days of being back home, being back in that different environment, where you're not just looking after yourself. Like when I'm out here, all I got to do is go to work and throw my washing on, have food, and that's it. When I go home, I got my 2 girls at home, pick my son up from school, my partner, like everybody's needs. So it's just a whole different environment. It takes you 4 or 5 days just to sort of settle in and get used to playing that role. And then as soon as it becomes comfortable and natural and authentic, and time to go.
Hey, Leon,
Yeah.
there's some unique selling points in your X Factor content. What men are speaking about that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've been struggling to think of different ways to sort of put this shit together. I need to record myself.
It's honesty, man. I said it to a mate the other day, like in front of my wife, and it was just like I honestly think that most men out there find working away as their home and being back at home like uncomfortable.
Yeah, I definitely
because
work
it's
with guys.
because it's that integration, like you just said. You're just getting comfortable, and then you're back out to work again.
Yeah.
So
exactly right.
let's dive into that because there's juice there, and this is a question that I feel that needs to be asked. What is the uncomfortable? What makes it uncomfortable being around the family?
Maybe uncomfortable, not the right word. It's more just you've just had a week of consistency, with a structure and whatnot, and then you go home and you don't know what you're gonna get. Kids are sick, like everything just gets thrown at you. And I think a lot of guys, like my partner does it. She doesn't mean to, but when we come home, they're like, "Thank God you're here. Take everything. I need a break." So we've just gone from a week of looking after ourselves, and then you just get thrown fucking everything.
So
And it takes a bit. Sorry.
Is it harder because there's a lot more responsibility?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
You've got other people's needs. Like
That's right.
you've got to take care of other people's needs. And I think that's the part that you get frustrated at. Well, I used to, I probably still do, like when you wanna take care of yourself and
Just a quick one. You just pick yourself up there, Brendan. You said, I do. just if it's okay moving forward, if we say something instead of going, oh, when you go to the pub or you do this, instead of saying that, just say, I feel like this. Is that okay? It's an I statement, and otherwise it's projecting your view of the world on other people. If that's okay?
Yeah.
Just a language
100%.
piece, a learning piece. If that's sweet, brother, men.
100%. Yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah, keep going.
So, what is it about being a father that is difficult?
Holding in
I
on
don't think
this.
it's
Responsibility.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Responsibility, knowing that, essentially I am the breadwinner and that I am responsible for, the future and the direction of our family. If that is, well, that's how my relationship's set up. So I know if I don't have myself in a good frame of mind and I have shit going on, it affects everyone in the household. And if I don't get my shit together quickly, I could self-sabotage and fuck shit right up. So my fear around being a parent is just fucking it up. That's the fear.
What I'm picking up from the words that have been spoken so far is that I would assume that men in the mines kind of get to have the family, but then they almost get to go and live another life and not really worry about it. Like it's almost like it's like a suppression. You're not actually dealing with the fact that you're away, but you get to go away and you don't have to deal with the home life. But then when you come
I
home,
would,
it's intense.
yeah, I would agree with that, like to an extent. Like obviously when we're away, you're not physically doing anything, but emotionally, I fucking hate it, man. Like if my partner's sick, if the kids are sick, I'm stressing out the whole time I'm here. I'm stressing out. I'm thinking, how do I get home if I need to get home? Like, what's the process? It's happened to me before when I was working in New South Wales. Like, I had to catch 2 trains, get a plane to fucking Sydney, swap planes, go to Brisbane, pay for an Uber from Brisbane back to my house. Took me like 9 hours to get home. And if it's a serious emergency, like, that's emotionally, it's really hard. But yeah, obviously physically we don't really have to do much.
That resonated with me, so I just put my hand up just so you weren't alone.
Yeah, so there's a really deep post for you. Like that's an emotional post. Like what and when we kicked off with you, Leon, like the truth about FIFO. So you've hit some blocks around what to post, right? And what to talk about. Is it
Yeah, for sure.
is it that you've hit blocks or that you're not focusing on that initial mission?
Um, Definitely hit blocks with it, and I started to wonder like how long I could or how much content I could get together about that. And it's not something that I want to focus on forever. Like I do want to focus on sort of highlighting, the facts and the things that aren't spoken about so much and not glorifying everything about FIFO. I really want to share that message, but I don't want it to be my sole focus either. Like I really want to focus on like on our goals and what the Brotherhood stands for and everything like that. So I don't want to just focus too much on the FIFO stuff.
Yeah. So what percentage do you think would be good to focus on it? Do you feel would be great? 30%, like 1 in 3 posts, or 50% 1 every 2, or 25% 1 in 4?
Yeah, I haven't thought about it. Probably, yeah, I reckon like 1 in every 3 posts, probably 30%. It's probably not a bad number.
Cool. So if that's 30%, then what's the other 60% look like? What do the other 2 posts look like?
For me, it would be around family for sure, like spending time with my family and being out in nature, just being out and about, camping, fishing, just, doing all that stuff outdoors with the kids.
Yeah. Well, there's your structure.
Yeah,
There's one, two,
awesome.
3 posts just on repeat. One about truth about FIFO, one about family, and then one about what you love most, like like outdoors hobbies. Just rotate them. If you write up 10 points, get the ideas flowing. There's 30 posts.
Wicked.
So thinking about that, fellas, like I know, Mike, I'm watching your Instagram, brother, and you've got so much, like hearing your story when we went for that walk on the Oval was so inspirational, bro. Like where you've come from. Now you don't have to go deep into your story if you don't want, but referencing that and telling your story about your journey to where you're at now is like going to be relatable for guys. You can just touch on it, like from bags, from the shitstorm into paradise, like, into a much more fulfilling place or whatever it is, like telling that story a lot more. And then also your foods. I know your food's a big thing. I know food's a massive point for you. You love curating food and your coffee and stuff like that, like that's a talking point for you that I feel from knowing you is something you're passionate about, right?
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about the growth of your audience, right? The personal brand and what you're known for. Okay, and this is an interesting thought experiment right now for you guys. What if you had to describe my brand, my personal brand? Who is Jordan Potts, the Conscious Carnivore? How would you describe me from the content that you see?
I would say a bloke that loves his steaks. Loves spending time with Indy and training, pretty much.
I reckon it just states your values: health, wealth, purpose. That's the way I see it when you look at your page.
Yeah, a hungry monkey who rides skateboards. Always climbing shit.
Brendo?
Yeah, fun-loving family man who is passionate about, passionate about helping males reach their full potential. Helping fathers, yeah, there's definitely a father vibe on your page for sure.
Cool. So if someone was to watch your Instagram for 3 months, how would they describe it? Right? If we think about that off-grid lifting guy, he loves just booting around the bush and training. That's content he puts up. So that's his personal brand. He's going to draw people in if they like being in the bush and they like training. They're just going to go, oh, this page is fucking dope. I'm following this guy. If it's like if it's a coffee or a food post every day from you, Mike, just like, fuck, how good is this meal? This is one of my favorite meals. Every day there's a food post from Mike. They're just like, man, this guy just loves his food.
Are you talking on the stories, bro, or are you talking on the reels?
No, real on your page, your homepage.
On the homepage, yeah. Okay.
Your homepage is like it's your profile. It's where new followers are going to come. If they see a reel that's like if they get any traction on reels, they're going to click on it and then they come to the homepage.
Yep.
So you want to think about it. When they land, do they like what they see? Does it resonate with them? Nick, yours is going to be a lot around training. You could probably involve some more jits in there if you're passionate about that again. Like if you want to help jits athletes, I don't know if like I'm just off spitballing, but like if there's any like strand in you that you would love to help jits athletes get into it or whatever.
Yeah.
Talk about jits more. Talk about your journey. Talk about your training for it. Like document let your Instagram be an extension of your life. and really create that personal brand. How do you want people, how would you want someone to describe you and the way you live? Then document it. And for those of you who've met me in person, you know I'm authentic online. Like the shit I say online is exactly what I would say in real life. It's exactly who I am. So don't avoid trying to be something for something. The best thing you can do as a man is honestly just be your best self and just share that with the world. Now, if you feel like your best self isn't your best self yet, then document that as well. Talk about what you're working on. And this is to link it back to where I'm at right now. I've been slack with my drive for training. I've not been inconsistent. Now, I did miss a day yesterday, so I've actually fucked up twice in 1 week after nearly going 90 days straight. But well, look, I'm not going to make excuses, but since the week before Addis was born, my intention for my one arm chin up and my 90-degree handstand push up fell off. And all I was doing was maintenance training. I was just turning up and I was just doing the reps. Now, while that's important in success, I realized this afternoon that I've not been like going after that goal. Like in my mind, I've not been going like, I'm going to hit the 90-degree handstand push up and I'm going to hit the one arm chin up. I've just been doing pull ups and handstand push ups every day. And so for my drive, my masculine drive, like where I'm like actually representing myself is like I'm getting back on the band. I'm like focusing in on those goals because I know they're inspirational to a certain percent of the population out there that's like, I actually give a fuck about progressing. When they see me on the journey to one arm chin up, they're like, holy shit, this motherfucker's getting after it. And so that's my responsibility, is to actually start documenting that and getting serious about it again instead of just being in a maintenance phase. Like I've probably been operating at like maybe 70% with my training. Like I need to get back to 110. So that's just me calling myself forward with a little lack of integrity in actually showing up as the leader. And now that's in all good sense. Like, look, it's probably a phase of my life where I needed to slow down. Like I was called to slow down anyway. Nicola was like, don't forget we've just had a second born son and like be present for him and stuff. So I had to calibrate myself a little bit and pump the brakes a bit. It was like a bull out of the cage with for a bit there. But we're like integrating back in now. Like Addis is going on 4 weeks old and I'm ready to fucking unleash again. So like take that as inspiration. Unleash yourself online. Like unleash your personality, unleash your thoughts, unleash your values, unleash who you are as a man and who you're becoming. And don't always press the fact that someone has to join you. Maybe it's just an attractor state that they're like, fuck man, your journey is actually epic. Like I'm proper inspired by what you're doing. I love what you talk about. I'm always keen to view your reels or look at your reels. And this is another thing, is if your reel is always an offer, then there's possibly going to be a disengagement. Because they're like, oh, here's Conscious Carnivore, another reel about joining the Brotherhood.
So, Geordie, how do you see that? So, obviously both of you and I did that Instagram audit, right?
Yeah.
So, how do you see that kind of aligning with what, she was sort of saying there, making your homepage look fairly uniformed? Do you understand the question?
Yeah. So being like a professional front
Yeah,
kind of.
like keeping the font and like, I guess Yeah.
So exactly the same message, just don't offer every day in your post. Don't, if you're doing 3 posts a day, don't offer in every post. Like I've thought about it. If 1 in 7 for every Thursday, what's 1 in 7? Like,
1 in 7.
what's so
49 reels,
what was that?
3 reels a day.
It's 21 reels a week.
Oh, yeah, 21, sorry.
No,
Yeah.
no, what's the percentage of 1 in 7? So 1 in 6. So 1 in 4 is 20%, 25%. 1 in 5 is 20%. 1 in 6 is like 17.5. So like if like 17% of your reels or something was an offer, then there's a lot more value than there is offers.
Mm. And do you think that goes the same for the stories? Like, are you, or is it, or are you trying to act differently? Because essentially, your reels are trying to be attracting new followers, right? And your stories is really nurturing your existing followers.
Yeah. I think the same goes for your stories.
Yeah.
And this is where I've come to realization, like you can just harp on about something all the time and people are just like, no, you're harping on about, or you can just provide a fuck ton of value and then every now and like, hey, if you're interested in this, here's something you can chew on. You know, and I know this resonates a lot with Nick because this is one thing that we spoke about a lot. Is like he doesn't want to just push the business all the time. He actually wants to like really help guys like elevate their training, like the brother like what the Brotherhood's about, like becoming a better man. You know, and that was like one of the initial conversations we had. And he'll do this really well because he's not a pushy type of person like that. You know, when you get to meet Nick in person, he's like really humble, really great guy, like super real, and he's not just. Whereas I can be a bit more of like a bit more intense, and so like there's probably going to be growth in both of our in both from both perspectives. Is like I need to ease up on like the offer because I was just like so hyped on it, and I need to just unload more of my life again, like Nick asked. Like she's like, hey, just turn up as Jordan Potts again more. You know, she's like, I haven't seen a food reel in so long. And she's like, you're the conscious carnivore. And I'm like, yeah, true. Um, so, and then whereas Nick is like going to have every now and then actually pop an offer on there. You know, so there's going to be a balance from both ways. It's like pulling yourself into what's needed.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know. Me personally, I felt like it didn't sit well with me, kind of just pushing shit on people. So I find the kind of approach of providing more value kind of sits a lot better with me. But yeah, that's something I have to learn too, is just to, up the offers, I guess the percentage of the offers that I put out there, because it's probably pretty low. But yeah,
Yeah.
just
And
on the other side of the spectrum.
you'll be surprised when you start doing that.
Yeah.
How you're like, oh, I'm actually a part. Like you have guys like, man, I've been watching. What are you actually doing? Because you kind of like the dark horse. You're a bit like a silent.
Well, I've had heaps, to be honest. I've had heaps of people messaging me like, "What's going on? What are you doing? Who are these people you're chatting with?"
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, give them the
So
rundown.
playing the curiosity card.
Yeah.
Also can be quite a cool play because this is the other thing that I was thinking about is the reason I was going so hard on this Brotherhood is because I know men need to be a part of this group. I know what we're doing here. I know like where you guys are all going to be in 5 years. Like I was watching that stuff from Japan and I'm thinking like Dan started with fucking like 100 guys on Facebook and no videos. No information to send people, right? He's like, where you guys have like the conversations that you can have with people now and with people waking up about tap water. You guys, you're gonna rinse. He's like, this Brotherhood's gonna do such great things. And he's like, I can feel the energy in it. Like it's incredible. It's powerful stuff. And so I just got so hyped on that. So every single post I've been putting out has been like, brother, like join us, join us, join us, join us, join us, join us. Because I'm just like firing. But it's so great to have Nick call me out because I'm like, yeah, I'm not just turning up as myself anymore. I was like actually like really pushing this really hard. So I want you to think about this. You know, we're coming up to the top of the hour, but I want you to think about it and reassess what your personal brand wants to look like. What do you want? If someone was to describe you by your Instagram, are they like, oh, he's just like pushing some offer? You know, like if someone was to say, I don't know, like Brendo, if someone's just say, oh, what's Brendan Misfit up to? If they're like, oh, well, every post he's just like talking about this solution offer, it's like some opportunity or something. That's what he's posting about these days. Like, is that our description of our page, or is it like, oh man, what Brendan's doing with his training and his eating and his family and stuff? It's I'm loving it. You know, it's like so epic. And then like, yeah, he's doing something like he's in something like there's an opportunity. Like it's like kind of like it's attached to who we are as men. And that's a reflection on me. You know, like I'm not pressing that on you, Brendo, but that's how I'm thinking about for you fellas. Like, how are the people viewing your personal brand?
It's easy to get excited, Geordie. I've been caught up in that as well. It's easy to get excited and just want people to see the value in what we're doing. Like I think that's naturally. I've been 100% caught up in that, so I completely resonate with you on that because it's just everyone I talk to, I'm just like, fuck you. I feel like, sometimes you just feel like you could just grab your brain and just go like, fucking here, take this for a little bit and just trial it out because you just fucking, it seems like such a no brainer,
Yeah.
and then the more I think like that, the more I'm just like constantly like saying, oh, you need to check it out. Like you need to check it out. And it's probably not the right approach. It's probably coming off a little bit desperate, even though even though in my mind, I'm not desperately thinking about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And look, you've planted those seeds. If that's like the in-person thing, you've planted those seeds. Those people are going to watch now. Like Mitch has planted 1 million seeds already. You know,
But you're right, poor Jordan, when you talked about if you're going after sales, like if you're chasing it, bro, I'm chasing the motherfuckers away all day long. They're like, this cunt's scary if I start going after sales. But like, if I just post like being out, like I put one up the other day about being out in the boat, and I was like, and man, so many people have come off that, just like you're saying about just living your life and just like attracting people into what you're doing. That's like the most attractive thing, and that's what draws people in. Like I put this one up just before, and people are going off about it. Like, no, what's going on? Tell me more. But it's just about, like Jordan said, who do you want to show up as online? Be that person and draw them to who you are.
mm,
I'm hearing you because about. I was like that too. Like, fucking, it's just in my head. Like, oh, you need to know what we're doing, but like, bro,
Right.
they know what you're doing. They're like, if you're doing something, like if you're just vibing, just be you. Just fucking.
Yeah.
It's all a mindset thing, but big time, like
Fully.
Jordan said at the start, it's energy too. Like if you're in the bottom chakras, if you're in a lower vibration,
Yeah.
it's sensed and it's felt. But if you're in a high vibe, it's fucking drawing people in like really quick.
Yeah, I think that hit really hard last week when Geordie said it. Hey, like just how you show up to people each day, like even people you don't know or you see on the street, just like try and raise everyone's energy, their frequency. With just anyone, just say, hey, g'day, how you going? Big smile.
Yeah, hug them.
Huge. Yeah.
it's a muscle. It's a muscle. You know whose muscles is like he's got like it's shredded to the core. It's like carved out of iron. Who's got that muscle so well built?
Dan.
Dan.
Yeah.
Man, when you meet him in person, he is literally just like a radiating ball of froth. Like, it's like the
Oh, I
high.
see him. Hey, radiating full of froth.
He's just the highest vibe. Like he's just
Yeah.
vibing. He is vibing. And like that's where I'm like, how do we just practice doing it? And by practice doing it so much, you're actually going to create that reality. And that's
Mm.
what people are drawn to. They're like, fuck, I've got to know what you're doing because it's fucking psycho how much energy you've got.
Hmm.
Like you're that excited for life. You're fucking weird. Like what's going on?
That's how we're meant to be.
It is. Like
Like
that
in
should be the baseline. So like I challenge like yeah, I do challenge us all. I challenge myself to reinstill that just pure froth. Like less offering and more value. Just bring the vibe. Bring the vibe. What is the vibe that you want to be known for? And just bring it. How's that land with everyone as a bit of an action still?
Right.
Yeah.
You ever used oh, I won't talk about it. It's completely off topic. That's my ADD / bipolar personality disorder.
Slash energy. It's just pure energy.
And that's right.
Pure energy.
Cool. So let's yeah, let's put some energy into just being the vibe, like bringing the vibe, and really putting forward your values. And sorry to bring it back to that question, Mike. Your homepage can still have the same fonts, do the reels, do everything, same fonts, look really clean. Just doesn't mean you're always putting a call to action in there. Well, the call to action could just be like, let's raise the vibration of the planet. Let's have a good time. You know? Well, let's just like who's up for eating good food? Drop a comment below, you know?
Yeah.
It's still a call to action there. It's still call and engagement. You know, like I'm doing it on those viral posts. You know, there was that one about the boys the other day, and I was like, if you vibe this, like comment below. That's like 30 comments, people like, yeah, this is exactly what it's like raising boys. So yeah, it's not that there doesn't have to be a call to action. It's like, but what the call to action could just be to be epic.
Yeah, it
Whatever.
doesn't have to be a business related call to action, I guess, is the point,
Yeah.
eh?
Yeah. So yeah, that's a big one. So just to finish to wrap us up here, we are at the top of the hour. Solid call, and I just wanted to acknowledge both Mitchy, Michael, and Nick for doing the work this week. Brendo, you're working on a few as well, which is good. Group calls, some group messages, which has been epic. Michael looks like he might have his first monkey of his back if Ben goes through finance. Mitch has got his first quad into finance to Savo.
Oi, Mitchy. Is that someone coming on board, brother, or is it they just jumped on a quad?
Yeah, he's coming on board.
Ooh. How good.
Unless he gets
Yeah.
told pick last minute, but
No.
that's
That
his
out
choice.
of the
But at the end of the
fucking
day, mate, he's one of a million.
Yeah.
There's
That's
so
it.
many coming, bro. I'm going all in, brother. I'm telling you now. I'm creating landing pages, sales page. I'm on fucking keyword planner right now, looking at all the numbers of fucking what words are actually trending in the market right now.
Yeah.
Have a guess what weather's doing. The word
All
weather.
over it.
1,830,000 in the last month have been searched on the word weather. Fuck me dead. Just live your life.
Weather manipulation. Up. But yeah, solid work, Nick. Nick's done some solid groundwork this week and overcoming some humps, which is epic. Leon, I want to connect with you more, brother. I know you've been busy working and stuff. But yeah, getting my ear. Same with you, Kiowa. We got to tee up and catch up, brother.
Yeah, we gotta.
Yeah, we got to link up in person. So Yeah, I just need to say also I've not been 100% in, obviously with Addis coming into the world, so I've not been super present in the group chat and stuff either. My posting's been dipped off, but that was for good reasons, you know. But we're integrating back in now. Like Nick's feeling much more confident, and so the Flames going to launch again.
Brother, cut yourself some slack, seriously.
Um,
Your son is 4 weeks old. You are still very busy and you're still doing very, very well. I don't know too many men on this planet that can do as good as you've done in the last 4 weeks.
Bro, I don't want to fucking stop.
Brother, just relax. You're going awesome, bro.
I always wonder.
You were
how
telling
he-
you were telling him to relax, Mitch.
Brother, I'm a very full-on masculine alpha male. There's not too many people on the planet that I'm afraid to stand in front of. I will tell Jordan to relax if I want to. If he needs to hear it, I will tell him.
Yeah, we keep each other well and truly humbled, Mitchy and I. It's unreal. Nah, but yeah, appreciate just the energy of it, fellas. Like I've been thinking a lot about it and about legacy and what it means to have created this and what we're on. Like I've told a lot of guys who were like super juiced up on Legacy Dads, like who knew how well I was doing on Legacy Dads. And like the conversation has come around to like what I'm doing now and why I moved into a wealthing vehicle as well as an offer. And a lot of them like, man, we commend you for taking like a bit of a risk and a back step on it, but like we can see the impact that's going to have in families' lives by doing so. Like now you can actually offer guys a way out of the wealth shitstorm as well. And I've been thinking about that a lot. Like it's the long game here. You know, like I can't wait till we all get to like meet Balaz and he's like, oh, you fucking Aussie legacy brotherhood, like you guys are off the hook, you know, like what you've created down there is like nuts. And so, we got minimum 5 years to blow this thing up. So like let's become epic, man. Like let's just keep pushing each other to new heights. It's not just about pushing the water machine, it's like let's all lift each other up to new heights, and then that will be an attractor state.
Yeah.
Epic. All right.
Great call. I feel really connected with all you men.
Likewise.
Thanks, brother. Have a good night.
All right. Peace.
Rest up, my brothers.
Catch you later.
See you, man.